morning, students. In earlier class, we are seeing how the endurance limit of a material is going to find out by means of fatigue testing machine. So that is the specimen is going to prepare according to the standard dimensions, and we are done the mirror polished surface finish in axial direction to avoid the circumferential defects, as well as it is subjected to the completely reversed bending type of load, and by noting all the values of number of cycles it is subjected to under the different magnitudes of the load. So which use the stress amplitude, we are plotted the graph SN curve, we call it as. From that so the above the 10 power 6 number of cycles, we are taken it as an endurance limit of each component of each material. So for ferrous, and you can also see for non-ferrous metals. But here coming to the case, so that is the endurance limit we are observed for the standard specimen in the fatigue test. That is a standard specimen within standard dimensions as well as different loading conditions of completely reversed bending load. But coming to the actual cases, in actual practical applications, so we need to vary the sizes. So there is a difference, much difference between the geometric sizes within loading conditions compared to the test specimen that is observed from the endurance limit. So that in order to match the endurance limit observed from the standard specimen to the actual working conditions or actual working of the component, so we need to apply some or you need to reduce the endurance limit by applying some of the factors, that the factors we call it as derating factors. That for that we need to reduce the endurance limit observed from the standard specimen to the applied to the actual working component. We can reduce by means of these derating factors. So these derating factors include, as stated earlier class, so these endurance strength, unlike of the tensile strength, that is not a standard property. It can vary based on the different factors like size factor, surface finish, as well as loading conditions or different factors. It is going to vary. So in order to suit with the actual working of the component, the endurance limit is going to reduce by applying derating factors. In this class, so let us see what are the factors we can consider to reduce the endurance limit observed from the standard test or standard specimen to the actual working condition, and as well as you can also see the approximate estimation with respect of the endurance limit to the graph. So whatever the set of values you can observe for one material, so we can undergo the series of specimen testing, so we can get a set of values, so that can be plotted on a graph here. So all these dots can represent each value. So by using all the values, you can draw an average line between that. So after the 10 power 6 number of cycles, the line is going to be asymptotic, so which gives a straight line. So this is the curve. So from so that can be on x-axis, you can represent with the number of cycles that can recorded in the revolution counter, and the SF is the stress amplitude. So you can denote all the points and can draw a average line between those failure points. So at the 10 power 6 number of cycles, you can observe, so line tends to asymptotic, so that so the value corresponding to these 10 power 6 number of cycles, we can take it as endurance strength of this particular material. Clear? So here, so this is the curve for ductile materials or ferrous materials like steel. So if you take a non-ferrous metals, this curve even declined even for the more after 10 power 6 number of cycles. It can be like a curve. You can observe like a curve. It doesn't get a straight line even after the 10 power 6 number of cycles. Even it is going to decline further more 10 power 6 number of cycles for non-ferrous metals. These curve for ferrous, and this is for non-ferrous. Clear? So for easy understanding, so many of the examples we can discuss with the ferrous, so that you can observe easily the points of S in the SN curve. So majority of the textbook they can describe with the ferrous metals. So here a record is to be kept with the number of cycles required to produce the failure points, and the results are plotted in the stress cycle curve. So that the curve we call it as SN curve or SN diagram or Euler diagram, or majorly you can denote with this SN curve. So S is the stress amplitude that represents on y-axis, and N is the number of cycles it is going to withstand for that particular failure point. And that is what we can observe here. So at the 10 power 6 number of cycles, we call it as infinite number of cycles. So at where we can observe the value, so that can be represented with sigma e. That is the value of endurance limit or endurance strength of that particular material. So unlike of tensile strength, it is not a material property. So these can be vary depending upon the various factors like size. So here this is the value of endurance limit observed for the standard specimen from the test. So but the standard specimen having the size limitation, that is we prepare the specimen with the standard sizes, and it can be manufactured with the prepared with the mirror polished fine surface finish. So as well as we are subject into the completely reversed bending loads. But in actual cases, so it is not possible to maintain the standard sizes of like standard specimen of 7.5 mm diameter, as well as we don't provide that much of surface finish for each and every normal commercial machine components. It is not desired one, as well as it incurs a greater cost of component. And in majority of the cases, it can be subjected to the axial loading or torsional loading, or it is a combined loading condition. So that unlike of the tensile strength in the ultimate testing machine, so here the endurance strength is not a constant one. It can vary based upon the various factors like geometrical constraints or load factor, or it is a surface finish factor. There are the many of factors we are having that we will discuss later. So this is the curve for ferrous metals, that is from these after 10 power 6 number of cycles, the value of stress you can observe, you can consider as an endurance limit or endurance strength of that particular material. Clear? So this is the curve we can observe. This is all the failure points. From that we can take the endurance limit stress as a curve for steel it is. So it is similar to that of. So and here, so you can also observe there is a two cycle of fatigues we are having. One is a high cycle fatigue and another one is low cycle fatigue. So you can observe up to the 10 power 3 cycles, that is up to this extent 10 power 3 number of cycles. We call it as that is 1000 number of cycles. The machine component subjected to the 10 power 3, that is 1000 number of cycles it is subjected to. That the components of the fatigue cycle, we call it as low cycle fatigue, which means the machine components are going to fail below this region. So that is it cannot withstand about 10,000 or 10 cube number of cycles, that is 1000 number of cycles. It is going to fail below that value. So that region we call it as low cycle fatigue. And coming to the high cycle fatigue, can above the 10 power 3 number of cycles, and even further 10 power 6, that is infinite number of cycles, that all the region we call it as high cycle fatigue. So for these so low cycle fatigue components, which are bolts and nuts, or the short-lived components like missiles, so all this comes under these or axles of trucks, that will all comes under the low cycle fatigue. They can fail below the 10 power 3 number of cycles. So for these there is no specific design criteria is to be applied. So instead so we can apply the standard that is a static load condition theories with proper selection of proper selection of the factor of safety. That is a greater value of factor of safety you can provide to the static loading design procedures, so that you can design these machine components subject to the low cycle fatigue. So but coming to the high cycle fatigue, the machine members which are subject to the high cycle fatigue or infinite number of cycles, about 10 power 6 number of cycles, you can go with then another design procedures. So we are having the different design criteria in order to design these high cycle fatigue regions. Clear? So these machine components subjected to these low cycle fatigue, we can use the previous design failures or theories. So but you can apply with the appropriate factor of safety. With the maximum factor of safety you can apply to these machine components. But coming to the fatigue cycle, the machine components subject to the high cycle fatigue, you can provide a different design criteria that we will discuss in the coming classes. Clear? So this is a high cycle and the low cycle fatigues. So in the next class we can see, okay, we can also have the one more point here. So I need to add one more point. So in the earlier class we have seen the fatigue is a theoretical stress concentration factor. So that will use helps to find the maximum stress near the holes or near the cracks where we can observe by means of photoelastic method or mathematical method. So here when the machine component subject to the fatigue type of loading, we can use a fatigue stress concentration factor instead of theoretical stress concentration factor, and that is denoted by Kf. So that is what called fatigue stress concentration factor instead of theoretical stress concentration factor. Here when the machine component subjected to fluctuating loads, we can use fatigue stress concentration factor, and it is given by the ratio of endurance limit with a notch free specimen, so that whenever there is no notches, there is no stress concentration. Endurance limit with notch free specimen to the endurance limit with notched specimen, that is with stress concentration. That gives the fatigue stress concentration. And there is one more factor we can also have in this session, that is a notch sensitivity. So which means so whenever there is notches or holes or the stress concentration fillets, so which are all stress raisers in this. So how much extent the theoretical stress concentration, that is the stress concentration, is increases with respect of theoretical. So in case of theoretical, what you are mentioning, so it is much more sensitive, which is going to be increased, so that we can go with the notch sensitivity factor. So it is defined as the degree to which theoretical effect of stress concentration is. So we are stating, so this much of stress is rising at the notches or here, but in actual case it is going to be further more greater. So that we can use the notch sensitivity factor here, that is denoted by Q, and it is defined as a ratio of increase in normal stress in increase in actual stress over normal stress to the increase in theoretical stress over normal stress. So that is here this is the maximum actual stress, this is the normal stress, and this is normal stress and theoretical actual stress. That is increase in actual stress over normal stress and increase in theoretical stress over normal stress. So that in theoretical we can use the theoretical stress concentration factor, and in fatigue, that is actual case, we can use fatigue stress concentration factor. From that we can write the Q as Kf minus 1 by Kt minus 1. From that we can get the value of fatigue stress concentration factor here. Clear? So this is the terms we can use in this case. In next class we can see, so to decrease or derate the endurance limit with respect of the standard specimen to the actual working component in the actual case. Clear? So thank you. The ultimate strength. So as stated, so this can affect so the factors affecting endurance limit. So it is affects the size factor. So based upon the size, so if it is increase in size, so there is a chance of number of flaws. So whenever the surface area is greater, there is a radius of surface contactual area will be more, as well as the surface cracks will be more. The presence of the probability of flaws in this larger component is greater compared to the number of flaws. The probability of flaws presence in the smaller component is reduces. So as well as the surface roughness values. So with the increase of the surface roughness values, so it can affect the endurance strength. Why? Because whenever the surface is having the greater roughness, so it uses there is a possibility of greater stress concentration, which will eventually forms a crack. So and there is an effect of temperature. So we know that so whenever the increase of temperature, so we observed the temperature tensile test. So we find out the tensile test at the room temperature. But when with the increase of the temperature, the strength is going to be reduces. So it can also affect the endurance strength for the material, and the effect of metallurgical variables of like properties, or there is a cracks or inclusions or blowholes. So, or if it is in welding combinations are there, so it can affect the endurance strength of the metal component. So these are some of the factors that will vary. So the endurance limit. So to reduce, to suit with the difference of the actual component with an actual case. So we can take some factors, we call it as derating factors. So here, so we can take two notations, that is a sigma E, so that is a component endurance strength of the actual component, and the sigma E dash is the endurance strength of a standard specimen. These are the two notations we have taken here, sigma E and sigma E dash. So that is the endurance limit of component, that is the actual component, that is the E dash is the endurance limit from experimental component. So these are from using this relation, so all these factors, so the endurance strength of the actual component can be obtained from endurance limit from the experimental component can be multiplied by all these factors, and these factors we call it as derating factors. We can reduce the endurance strength of standard specimen to meet up with the requirements of the actual working component. So we can use the derating factors. So these can be denoted by K. So in suffix K, so we can have the different notation A, B, C, D, E, F. So based upon the different others, we can different designers they can use a different notation. But K is a derating factor. So by means of suffix, so we can vary. So here, so I can take Ka as a surface finish factor based upon the machine parts have the surface finish. So if you have the maximum surface finish, that is a mirror fine surface finish, we take it as 1. So with the increase of the ultimate strength, that can also be varies with respect of the surface roughness values. So with the different types of surfaces, we are prepared machine surface, rounded surface or rolled surface, or it is a mirror fine surface finish. So it may be varies. So here Ka is a surface finish factor, and Kb I can note it with load factor, size factor, and Kc is a reliability factor, that is how much reliable that our components are taken, and K is a loading factor, and Ke is a temperature factor, and Kf, that is a stress concentration factor that we already discussed earlier. So these are the some of the derating factors, important derating factors that are taken into account to reduce the experimental value to suit with the actual component. So let us see how these factors or influences the endurance limit of the actual component. So first of all, going to the surface finish factor. So here we are having that surface finish. So in the standard specimen, we prepare the surface finish with the mirror polished surface finish in axial direction. So but coming to the actual case, so in order to provide the mirror surface finish for each and every machine component, which will incur a greater cost, and as well as in many of the machine components, it is not desired to provide that much of surface finish. So here, whenever there is a very fine surface finish, there is no surface roughness value, so that the stress concentration is very low, as well as we can avoid that is circumferential defects. But when coming to the actual case, so we can provide one of the machine component with the machine surface simply, or we can go with the grinding values, or we can go with the rolled surfaces. We can have the normal surface, so with a fine surface finish we can have. So based upon the different surfaces, we can provide the machine components that will get change of the variation in the stress concentration. While there is a greater surface roughness values, we are having greater surface finish that will cause us our reduction in the fatigue strength or endurance strength for the component. So that we can need to take the values of factor here, that is a surface factor. So the standard specimen with the polished surface, most does not have the polished surface. Whenever we can reduce the polishing for the component, there is a chances of scratches or indentations will be there. So which will use the acts as a stress raisers that will reduce the endurance strength or fatigue life of the part. So that you can use these values, or you can use the graph using the surface roughness value, or with respect of the surface factor with respect of the different types of grounded surfaces, or also you can use the surface roughness factor using this relation A with respect of the factor of this surface roughness is taken as a factor of ultimate strength. So with they vary in the different surface finishes, we are having the different ultimate strength values. So from that A into sigma power or ultimate strength power B, and A and B are the different. So here can provide grounded surface or machine surface, hot rolled or forged surface. The values of A as well as a B is going to be varies based upon the type of surface finish you can provide for our actual machine component, so that you can get the values of surface finish factor here, so that you can reduce the surface finish factor of, that is endurance value of experimental test specimen. Clear? So that is one of the reasons. So in the experiment you can provide with mirror fine surface finish, but you are not going to provide in all the cases of mirror fine surface. There is a mirror polished surface finish. You can go with the machined, or you can go with the either grounded, you can go with the hot rolled or forged one, based upon the requirement of that particular machine component we are having, so that you can reduce the endurance limit corresponding with the value of surface finish factor here that can be obtained using this relation, and tensile strength you can take it for that particular material. And the A and B values can be varied here based upon the type of surface finishes we are going to provide for the actual machine component. And coming to the second one, size factor. So coming to the size factor in the standard specimen, now I stated that so the specimen is prepared with the standard sizes of 85 mm length and 7.5 mm diameter and 250 radius. The curve we can provide. So that is the standard dimensions for the test specimen. But here in the actual case, it is impossible to maintain all the shafts with the 7.5 mm diameter with the length of 80 to 85 mm length and 250 radius you can provide. So you can have the different of sizes based upon the requirements of the machine or the functionality it can perform. So you can provide the various of geometries. So we need to include it. You can have the different geometry, or you can have the different sizes. So based upon the capacity of the machine, based upon the functionality of the component, you can go with the variation in the geometry. So that the reason, so whenever the size of the component is going to increase, so we can increase with the 50 mm, 100 mm. So with the increase of the size, there is a much probability to have the greater flaws in the machine component. So whenever the size of the component is increases, the flaws present in the component is also increases. So whenever these flaws are like blowholes or cracks or surface cracks, or there is an indentations will be present, so which will give, it will act as a stress rises again. So that will give rise to the cracks, or helps to propagate the crack that is going to fail by means of fracture. That is a fatigue failure can happen, so that it reduces its fatigue life. So that the reason whenever the size of the component or the actual component is going to increase with respect of the experimental test specimen, so we need to take the size factor here, that is denoted by Kb. So which means that the larger the parts fail at lower stresses than the smaller part, which is the higher probability of loss that being present in the large components. The diameter of specimen is 7.62 mm, but it is not possible to maintain that value. So that for round surfaces we need to take Ka. So for the diameter up to 8 mm, so we can take the value of Kb, that is a load factor, sorry, size factor as 1. But whenever these increases from 0.32, that is 8 mm to 250 mm diameter, so this Kb can be taken as 1.189 D over 0.097. So where D is the diameter we can provide in here, so using that you can use the value of Kb, so that is a size factor. So you can also, if the component is larger than 10 inches, use Kb as 0.6, it is only 0. That is about 40% of endurance limit we are going to reduce it to match with the actual working condition of the component. Clear? So we can, so whenever the size increases, the flaws, the probability of flaws is also greater, which reduces the fatigue life of the component, so that we can reduce the endurance strength of the test specimen to actual working component. Clear? So based upon the diameter of the component we are providing, so the fatigue factor, sorry, the size factor is going to be decreases. So if you are providing up to 8 mm diameter, so the size factor is only the 1, that is the same that of the endurance strength you can provide. But whenever it is increases, the size factor is going to be reduces. And coming to the next one, that is a reliability factor, denoted by Kc. So the reliability factor that depends upon the requirement of reliability of requirement of the mechanical component. So whenever the component reliability is greater, so the factor is going to be less. That is the reliability correction factor accounts for scatter and uncertainty of material properties. Whenever the material properties exhibit the same in the, as the designer point of view. So if it is exhibit the same properties in actual working condition, then it is also okay. So, but you can consider the reliability as only 50%, and the reliability factor is taken as 1. With the increase of the reliability, the factor can also be taken as gradually decreases with the increase of reliability. So for the machine component, we consider the reliability factor as 50%, so that you can take the reliability as 1, reliability factor as 1. With the increase of the reliability percentage, the factor can also be tends to decreases in order to suit up with our values. That is based upon the material properties, how the material property is going to behave with respect of the actual working conditions of the machine component. And the next one, that is load factor. So here in the test specimen, it is subjected to the completely reversed type of bending stress, but in actual case it is not possible to maintain each and every machine subjecting to the completely reversed. It may be a reversed one, but it not be completely reversed one. It may be reversed axial loading, it may be reversed torsional stress. So there is either there may be a combination of stresses. It is not possible to maintain all the ways subjected to the reversed, completely reversed type of stresses or completely reversed bending stress. So that's the reason. So whenever it is subjected to the different loading conditions, so that is load conditions, that is KD. So you can denote with. So for pure axial loading condition, that is KD is equal to. So you can take it as 0.7. For pure bending, combined loading, and pure torsion, you can take the load condition, that is a load factor as 1. But for one measure stress, it is 0.57, which was not required here. So that is for bending as well as a combined loading or pure torsion, you can take load factor as 1. For the axial loading, you can take it as a load factor as 0.7. That is a 30% of reduction of endurance strength you can observe when it is subjected to the axial loading condition compared to the completely reversed bending type of load condition. So that is a load factor. So in all the cases, it is not possible to maintain with the same type of load the material component, the machine component is going to subject it. And lastly, so one more important thing, that is a temperature factor. With increase of temperature, the strength can also be decreases. So in the standard experiments can be carried out in a room temperature, so that endurance strength we are obtained for the test material or the test that is at the room temperature. But whenever it is the temperature increases, the test temperature, the fatigue strength is going to be decreases. So but for the common knowledge, the fatigue strength is not affected with operating temperatures, so that these can be taken as 1. And for at higher temperatures, it can be taken by means of calculating the values of appropriate relations. K equal to 1 minus 5800 into T minus 450, where T is the operating temperature between 450 to 550 degrees centigrade. If it is between 840 to 1000 degree Fahrenheit, so we can consider this relation. Either this relation you can use or this relation you can use. So based upon the centigrade or Fahrenheit. So this is the relation for temperature factor. So that is denoted by Ke here. So in some of the others, some of the designers they can take it with the different notations. They can use the notations like for surface finish they can K on subscript. K surface finish or K load, or like K size. Likewise, so in some of the cases they can represent directly, or in some of the cases they can denote with KA, KB, KC, or like that. So whatever the thing it is, so it is a derating factor to decrease the endurance strength of the material. So these are the main derating factors for the endurance strength to match up with an actual value of actual machine component, or